Greetings to all, and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. My name is Mark Millward of the West Indian Social Club of Hartford, and I'm your host. The Jamaica Diaspora Show is aimed at providing viewers with coverage of diaspora news and activities in a variety of areas, including business, arts, health, education, entertainment, politics, immigration, trade, and investment. Our first show featured an exclusive interview with the Most Honorable Andrew P. Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, who talked about the Economic Growth Council and harnessing the power of the diaspora. Tune in for more coverage in the future on the activities of the Economic Growth Council and diaspora engagement. Hartford, Connecticut is the third largest population of Jamaicans in the United States, behind Miami and New York. We intend to provide our viewing audience with global diaspora perspectives and coverage from the US, UK, Canada, Jamaica, and of course the Caribbean. Please join us weekly, Saturdays at 2 p.m. and Sundays at 3 p.m. on Hartford Public Access Television, providing global television network coverage at www.hpatv.org. Greetings and welcome to the Jamaica Diaspora Show. My name is Mark Millward, and today my guests are Mr. Hugh Freeney and Mr. Sean Antoine. We're going to be talking about the West Indian Independence celebrations. And Mr. Freeney, how are you, sir?
Thank you very much, and thanks for having us on. Appreciate it.
And Mr. Antoine, welcome.
Thank you.
Can he call you Sean?
Sean?
Sean is fine. Sean is fine.
So the West Indian Independence celebrations is taking place this next month in August.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, I just would like for you to tell us about yourself, Mr. Freeney. Tell us.
Well, I've been active in the Hartford community since 1972, and I've been past president of the West Indian Social Club, West Indian Foundation, and a couple of political clubs, and sitting on a couple of town committees. Mm-hmm. So I've been pretty active in this area, doing some fundraising for scholarships, and with this particular organization, I've been on and off of it for since 2000. Before 2000, I was mingling with them in the 80s. But I've been pretty much heavily involved in it from an economic point of view, helping to raise funds for them since around 2005.
Okay. Now, is that through the West Indian Social Club itself or the West Indian Foundation?
The West Indian Foundation primarily.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Antoine, could you please tell us something about your background?
Sure. A native of St. Lucia, born and raised in St. Lucia. Came up here when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
I've been part of...
How young?
8.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've been part of this organization for 20 years. Mm-hmm. Started off as a marshal, which was just walking on the side of the streets, directing people, and mm-hmm. Finally jumping on the board and participating in various parts of the organization in terms of vending, mm-hmm. And some fundraising efforts. So been around for a while.
Okay. The West Indian Independence celebrations is a collaborative effort, is it not?
Yes.
With the various West Indian Caribbean organizations in the Great
I would go a little further than that. That week, whether or not you're West Indian or not, mm-hmm. it's just like in the Irish parade when they're celebrating St. Patty's Day. Mm-hmm. Everybody is Irish,
right?
You know, more or less. That's why people wear the green tie and the green outfits or whatever. And so we would like to believe that everyone is a member of the Caribbean community, regardless of whatever heritage they may be.
Right.
And so we have included, for example, we have African Americans working with us. Many of the children, there are a lot, and so at the peak, we've had like 500 children involved in the particular activities, especially the parade. I would say half of them are African Americans, and you know we have sprinklings of Puerto Ricans and of course Jamaicans and people from the other various islands, and of course people from Jamaica. But it's a wide spectrum of cultures and ethnic backgrounds.
Well, as far as the organizers and the different entities that come together to make this happen, what are some of the organizations that are you're collaborating with?
Sure. So at its peak, we had every country represented, and as you know, the way boards work, you know, you get a group, you only get a handful of folks that's the workers, and then, you know, everybody else chips in here and there when they can. But currently on our board, we're comprised of the St. Lucian group, the West Indian Club, Jamaican Progressive League. We also have the Caribbean Association, and so those are some of the groups that we have participating or helping out with putting the program together.
We want to give them some acknowledgement of their participation.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because without them, you know, without the help of everybody, you know, this wouldn't be as successful. And as Mr. Freeney just mentioned, you know, it's more than just West Indians. It's everybody.
And we've evolved because we've evolved or changed because we now have individuals who come in, you know, and participate, and you'll find some, as I said, African Americans and some other groups. We have, for example, we work with the West Indian Foundation, and through it we have a Juan who works with one of the liquor distributors. He comes in and assists on parade day. We have a group of African Americans who's a security company that we work with, who works with us. And I'm trying to think of one other. Our chief writer for our grants, African American. So it's, as I said, it's a broad spectrum.
Now, can you describe the mission of the
matter of fact, I can. I have this. Folks will be able to find this laying around some of the stores. It's one of our brochures, and I'll just read you a quick paragraph. It says, to educate, celebrate, and share the history, art, and culture of all nations of the West Indian community. So that is primarily what the goal is.
And if I may, this brochure is also on our website at wiic.hartford.org.
Okay, and we can put that up on the screen for you.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you.
Well, okay. Now, at your venues, I guess it's reflected in your literature that it is focused on sharing the history, the art, the culture of the Caribbean people. What kind of support are you receiving from the local businesses and from the city, from the government?
We get a lot of support. What we're trying, one of the things that we're trying to do is to make it, this event here in Hartford, a carnival / independence celebration, similar to what they do in Boston and New York and Toronto. And as you know, if you do your research, you'll find out that in Brooklyn, for example, $3 million exchanged hands. So it's an economic thing that we're trying to do. If we can, we can get the city officials, and some of them have really come out to help. And right now we're getting support from the Arts Council. It's actually from businesses who are contributing to the Arts Council, who are contributing to us to help defray some of the cost. We're also getting some assistance from city officials who are trying to get a few whatever they can, because the difficult time that Hartford is having. They try to get a few dollars here and there to help. And you have, like for example, my son Dwight Freeney has been very assistant, helping the program because he knows the kids are involved, and he's been giving a few tens of thousands to help the program. The program is literally is $100,000 program compared to the $3 million in Brooklyn.
So to put on this event, it's costing us or costing the community what's the amount?
The amount is about approximately $100,000.
Okay. Okay, and I just wanted to back up for those who don't know who Dwight Freeney is, because not everyone.
Okay, he's my son, and he plays in the NFL.
He's a professional
athlete.
For what team is that?
Right now, he's in between teams, but he's been played at Atlanta.
Okay.
And Falcons last year.
Okay. A Hartford native.
Bloomfield native. He was born at Hartford. Greater Hartford. He was born in Hartford, but he went to school in Bloomfield.
Okay. Well, he's okay. He's from the Nutmeg State.
Right.
Okay. Now, I think you might have indicated how long have the celebrations been taking place in Hartford?
1962.
1962. Can you tell me some of the special guests that you've had appearing at
had or will have?
Have and will have.
I'll let you take that.
Why? Okay, I've been running my mouth. Let me have some of your water. No, what happens, we've had the Queen of Reggae a few years back, Marcia Griffith. Go ahead.
Serrani is one of the big names that's been had twice. We've had Chris Martin, who's come for, we've had local artists, a lot of local artists who have been doing very well after they've performed on our stage. We had, I can't remember the gentleman's name. This year, we're having Cranium.
Yeah, along with
Cranium is a Jamaican artist, reggae artist.
Ricky T.
Along with Ricky T, who's a St. Lucian artist, reggae, soca artist. We got Jem Myers, the Gap Band.
Wow.
So we've had quite a host of talent come through Hartford for free, mind you. The people are free, but again, as Mr. Freeney indicated, this program to the public is free, but it's a $100,000 program that we put on, but everything is for the public is free, except for obviously.
They got a gentleman by the name of Floyd, a comedian and
Yes.
Personality. What's his?
Bussy Boy Floyd.
Bussy Boy Floyd, and he's a very funny guy. He keeps the crowd laughing and entertained. This year, as he mentioned, we also will have local church gospel groups involved on the show. In the parade, the biggest group is SICA, which has been a member of the organization for many years. SICA, yeah, Caribbean International Carnival Association. They're involved with all of the international carnivals around the world, and they have a chapter here and head by Mr. Junior Miller, and they usually have anywhere from 50 to 500 kids. They said a little late this year, but they have they are performers. They're dressing in the various native costumes and beautiful outfits. They'll sit in some of the kids here in Hartford will spend a month in the summer designing these particular clothes, and then they practice their dancing, also keeping busy, which is important. And then he brings them out. And other small groups. Also the Caribbean dance troupe, and there's another the West Indian. Don't remember the name of the group, but there are several dance troupes around that participate. Drill teams. We have, unlike other carnivals, we have drill teams, and then we have dance troupes, etc. And what they call revelers, people who just join the parade and they put all kind of different colors on their clothes and just dance their way down the street. Wow. So and the participation could be slightly over 1,000 people when all is said and done.
Now, I want to take a break, but after the break, when we come back, I want to talk about some of the specific times and dates of the events and the venues and where they're located, that kind of thing, so that the viewers will be prepped and ready to be in attendance at the different events.
Sure.
We will be right back, ladies and gentlemen. On the Jamaica Diaspora Show, we're talking about the West Indian Independence celebrations. We'll be right back.
Hey, hi everybody. The West Indian celebrations begin first week in August to the second week in August. The parade marches down Main Street in Hartford all the way to the Bushnell Park on August the 12th. We want everybody to come out and enjoy themselves. We're asking for vendors to participate. We're asking for those of you who just want to march and have fun to come on out and to let us know that you want to be there. We're looking for all organizations, all churches to come on out and to march with us. If you got a big, great idea to save the planet, come on out. Let everybody know about it. Call Sean at
860-478-8037.
Join us and have fun this August 12th.
Let's go, parade.
And we're back, the Jamaica Diaspora Show, and I am here today with Mr. Sean Antoine and Mr. Hugh Freeney, and we're talking about the West Indian Independence celebrations. Before the break, we talked a little bit about what types of events would be held during the celebrations, so now we're going to get more into that. In the past, up to 70,000 people have turned out in Hartford from all parts of the state, all parts of the country, actually. So you talked a little bit about the events that you have planned. Can you tell us more, like dates and days and more specifics so that viewers will be ready?
What we have planned?
For at the different locations, where is it? What's the exact locations of the events?
Sure. So
and timelines for them.
Sure, absolutely. So the week kicks off around August 6th, but at August 5th, which is a Saturday, the Riverfest have the Jerk Fest.
Okay.
Which
is that part of the celebration?
No, but it is what it is. It's members that used to participate, that used to be a part of our board who.
There are still members of our board.
It's a collaborative.
Yeah, it is collaborative, so we all know what's happening and so forth.
Celebration.
And so that kind of like kicks things off, and then it goes into the week of the West Indian week, where each night is designated to an island or islands to have events, whether it be at the West Indian Club, the Sportsman, Vibes, or any facility that they choose. They would have a dance, and you can go and participate and see what's going on in that particular group or island and so forth. Right. So that happens during the week. Saturday, the 12th, is the actual parade that we put on, where you have the parade starts at the corner of Cape and Main Street at 11 o'clock sharp.
Okay. Okay.
And it goes downtown. It goes down Main Street, goes down Trumbull, and turns down Jewel Street.
Okay.
And then we end up in the front of the park where the paraders and troops.
The Bushnell?
The Bushnell Park.
Bushnell
goes out
Park.
to the Bushnell Park, which is on the corner of Jewel and Trinity, or Elm.
Right.
And the entertainment happens inside of the park.
Okay, so all of the entertainment is going to be in the park?
All of the well, you're gonna get the dancing and the different island flares and so forth on the street.
Okay.
But that's gonna all end up in the park, and it's gonna be judged. So we are doing a competition. It is a competition out there, and I would like to add that it is a cash competition.
Okay. First, second,
second, third place. First place is a cash competition. So.
Have you decided on the amounts yet?
No, not yet. We're working on that.
Yeah, right now we've been promoting the fact that we put $2,000 in the till. How we're going to divide that up is still to be discussed. However, mention the fact, you may want to mention the fact that you are looking for some vendors. We have vendors from local vendors specifically. We've got some support themselves.
Right.
Because if we get the kind of crowd that we've had in the past, and the weather is favorable, they stand to make a nice, pretty penny.
Right.
And so you need to get a hold of Sean. You go on WIIC Hartford, you'll see his telephone number down there. You can give him a call, and he'll help you set up. We're also looking for marchers and people to dance up and down the street. We have certain groups like SICA, we mentioned before. You have the Caribbean and the West Indian dance organizations that would love to have you participate. And both men and women and in the various outfits. So get a hold of us, and we will, point you in the right direction. And we're hoping to have 1,000 people on the street as we've had in the past.
Now, you did say that there was special guests this year or previously.
Special guests as far as who's going to be there?
Yeah. Do you have any special guests this year for the event?
Well, yeah, he mentioned Cranium.
That's
And Ricky T. And we also mentioned this person, I think, Sexy Marissa.
Yes.
I seem to always miss Sexy Marissa. I'm in the back somewhere sleeping.
Okay. And this venue is all on stage.
Right, and this and that band, yeah.
Okay.
They'll be on the stage as well.
Now, how many the competition is it the competition? Do you have a number of competitors yet for the?
We don't know. That's one of the things we're calling for. We are hoping to be able to. Talking about this is going to promote some people to get involved. We don't know how many is this year, but in some years in the past, there have been about 40 organizations have gotten involved. Right now, it's a little slow, but we're hoping to get near that as we have in the past.
And let me just also reiterate that if you want to participate, whether it be in dancing, joining a group, or whether you want to participate as a vendor, or as an act, or have a special talent that you'd like to showcase, if you can reach out to us sooner rather than later, because all the time we get people coming up to say, "Oh, I wish I knew this, I wish I knew that." So what we're reaching out to you now to let them know, listen, if you have that urge or that need or want to do it, reach out to us. You can go to wiichartford.org. Our numbers are there for the parade person, the vending person, which I am. The president's number is on there, the vice president. You can reach out to a number of us, and we can direct you to who is accepting applications for dancing in groups and so forth. As we mentioned, SICA does a lot of. If you have kids that want to participate or dance troops, we have access to those information that we can lead you in the right direction.
Now, what we're going to do for you, we're going to put this information up on the screen and the phone numbers and the website, so that those people that are interested in reaching out, supporting, or participating will have that information.
Wonderful.
So this is quite exciting. It's great to know that as Jamaica celebrates Jamaica 55 this year in July.
And it's our 55
in London and Canada, and so this is our version of an extended celebrations. But our celebrations for the Greater Hartford area includes not just Jamaica, but all of the islands. How many different islands were enjoyed their celebrations during this month or this period? Do you have that information?
Actually, I don't have that information, but I will say that one of the reasons this time was picked by our like a term, forefathers, the Dave Carters, and matter of fact, some of them, Miss Ed Carty, who's still alive, from the Caribbean Club, was one of the originators of the program back in 1962. And it originally started off with a celebration of Jamaica and Trinidad, because Trinidad, I think, is the end of the month of August.
That's correct.
And so as all the islands at different times became independent nations, then, we've invited them, but not everybody. you know, Trinidad, we have a large segment of Trinidadians who usually have a second parade. We have, you know, of course, St. Lucia is one of the strongest supporters, and of course Jamaica, but they also are celebrating the independence of the islands.
So I'll say, in terms of St. Lucia independence, we're February 22nd of 79 is when we gained ours. But so we're going on our 38th.
They celebrate with us in the summer, not in February.
Well, we don't want to be marching on the streets in February.
Well, it's great that you know, the various organizations, the West Indian Foundation, in collaboration with the West Indian Social Club, that everyone's having different venues, that it's well coordinated. So we certainly appreciate all of the work that you've done. In fact, how long has it been planning to conduct this?
We start kicking off our planning in October, September,
Almost
October.
like right when our parade is done, we start to put plans in motion. And
The only sad thing about it is that some people don't join the planning until it's warm.
Right.
It reminds, boy, it's getting warm. Something, wait a minute, it's April and May and celebration's right around the corner. And that's when they really start to get involved. Matter of fact, stuff that we plan in October, the folks who come in May have a history of trying to overthrow those ideas.
Right.
So that's been the history of the organization.
Now, is there anything else that I haven't covered that you feel you need to cover, you know, regarding the events?
we just want to stress, and I can't stress this enough, that we need volunteers, number one. Number two, we need people who want to participate as vendors and people who want to participate in the actual parade, marching on the street. We need folks to come out. We need your support. We're putting this program on for you guys, and it'd be nice for you to participate in it and to feel like I've done something. I'm part of something, and so we want people to understand that the need for their participation.
Listen, if you got a cause to live that's important, for example, we've had local unions, 1199, for example, march with us. We've had folks against, mothers against drunken driving, march with us in the past. We've had what is called Stop the Violence groups marching with us.
Wow.
And we certainly welcome them to come on back. We haven't heard from them, so we're hoping that they do come back and march with us. We've had church groups trying to save souls on the street march with us. So listen, it's broad and it's wide open, and whoever, I don't care where you're from, we hang around the Irish in the march. We welcome the Irish are welcome to come and march with us and celebrate with us. So whoever, everyone's welcome. We have open arms. Everybody's welcome.
Right.
Let me take another break here. We're going to take a very brief break, and when we come back, we'll talk about some of your final comments, regarding the celebrations. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi, everybody. Listen, the West Indian Parade is going to come on down Main Street, August the 12th, and we need you there. We're also looking for participants, people who are going to march with us. We don't care who you are. Come on down to the park and enjoy yourselves, even those who just want to watch. If you want to march, by the way, before I forget, $2,000 in cash awards are going to be put up to the best revelers and the best drill teams. So listen, call us and call Sean at
860-478-8037 if you want to participate as a vendor in the parade this year in the Bushnell Park.
Or if you want to just march, let us know. Because down there at the park, we're going to have people like Cranium and what other groups? Ricky T?
Yes.
What does he do?
Ricky T is a soca artist.
Oh wow! And what about Jem Myers and this and that band from New York? We're gonna have all of those folks down there. We're gonna have a great time, and we want you there.
And we're back with the Jamaica Diaspora Show, talking about the West Indian Independence celebrations with Mr. Hugh Freeney and also with Mr. Sean Antoine. Now, we want to briefly focus on some of the important aspects of the celebration, of the parade itself. Can you please tell us how long do we expect the parade to last? What is the route? I know you talked about the route previously, but I wanted to give you a chance to repeat that.
Sure. So we're starting at the corner of Capon and Main Street, which is north end of Hartford, and that parade is going to go down Main Street, take a right down Trumbull.
What time is it?
We're starting at 11 a.m. sharp.
Okay. I just wanted to interrupt you briefly. Sorry, but did we have some issues last year with the parade route? No,
We didn't do it.
We didn't do it.
we didn't do a parade route
Right.
last year.
Yeah,
Okay,
because it's
so-
a combination of weather and because of the financial situation in the city.
So that's a good thing, that now that we
Trying to bring it back, yeah.
we actually had the celebration without the actual parade.
Right, we had it in the
Okay.
park,
All
yes.
right,
Yes.
okay. Now that's a plus. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem. So Capon and Main, go down Main, take a right down Trumbull, go all the way down to Jewel Street, which is where Bushnell Park is. You're going to take a right on Jewel Street, and all the activities are going to end at Ford Street. The parade's ending at Ford Street, which is directly across from the Bushnell Park.
Okay.
So that event, that route would take approximately, we're hoping for everything to be down in the park by 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay.
Where all the events on the stage can start taking place. Now, mind you, while the parade is happening, folks are and can be in the park because we will have vendors in the park who's selling food, who's selling arts and crafts, types of material, clothing, jewelry, ice cream for the kids, so there people will be in the park.
Okay. Now, how does that work? You have the entertainment on the stage, then you also have the judging of the competition. How is that going to work?
There's going to be a stage somewhere on the street, and you're going to have them march, stop for 5 minutes, do their thing. We have independent judges who are, none of them are members of the organizations. A lot of them aren't even West Indians, but they judge it. We give them literature to study and so that they understand what they're trying to do, what we're trying to do, and they'll judge them for various, whether or not they're entertaining and organized and whatever, et cetera, et cetera, and then we'll award them.
Okay.
For
But for those people that are, say, in front of the stage, watching whatever is going on, and they don't want to miss the competition, how is that going to be coordinated?
So typically that's communicated. So we'll let folks know, listen, the band is being viewed right now, and you'll see the masses come out the park, and then you'll see folks line up around the staging area to watch what's happening. At that time, again, the stage is, the announcement is made, music is cut down over
So that's
there.
an announcement that's made over the
Yeah, they'll make the
loudspeaker.
announcement
Okay.
down there on the stage that, the groups are coming down, and folks will come out the park to line up and watch if you're not already on the road with a band coming down and so forth, because you do get the following.
Music will be kicked off about noon in the park. It's DJ, sometimes just DJ music, and we'll have gospel singers also in the early stages. But usually what happens is that on the street there's a larger group following the masqueraders and the entertainers,
dance troops and
dance or whatever, and they start marching around 11 o'clock, and it takes them maybe about an hour to get to the park.
Approximately.
Yeah, and then and it just keeps going. But the point being is that we hope to have all of the parade activities over too, and then usually we have low key entertainment in the park. But then when that ends and the parade ends, you'll find a flock of people coming in off the streets inside the park, where we begin to the actual show starts between 2 and 3.
Yes.
Okay. Well, This is great, and on behalf of Hartford Public Access Television and the Jamaica Diaspora Show, I want to thank you both for the fine work that you've done. I've been around the club, West Indian Social Club, and I've seen you in your meetings. So just want to extend our deep appreciation for this, for the community. And do you have any closing comments to make? We're going to put your information on the website and phone numbers to contact people. Any closing remarks?
I'd just like to say, and I know Mr. Freeney is going to add something, but I would just like to say, listen, this is a 55-year tradition. We've been doing this thing for years and years, and we love what we do. And we do this because, our community loves what we do. And so I would just like to say, if you can participate and want to be a part of something like this, this is not something that's going to go away. This is something that we love to do, and we just would like people to come out and support the local vendors, support the local acts that's there, and be a part of it.
Okay. Well, you've heard the fact that we're going to have acts. We have international stars, and there should be some more added as time goes on. On one of the radio stations in the area will be bringing in additional entertainers to what we've already stated. And it should be a fun time, a free time for all. Bring a couple of dollars to support your local vendor, but come out, enjoy yourselves, and hopefully, you can join us and tell us what we did wrong, and we'll try to do it better. But thank you for the Greater Hartford community and beyond for the support that you've given us over 55 years, and thank people like yourselves who are volunteers who we need to make it happen.
And we want to thank you, Mark, for allowing us to come here to share our story with the folks out in the Greater Hartford area. So thank you.
All right, and thank you for coming and presenting on the Jamaica Diaspora Show. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for our show this weekend, and please attend the West Indian celebrations August 12th, starting at 11 o'clock.
Exactly.
Hope to see you there. Thank you. See you next time.